Hello, everybody. This is Saeed Mandhari. I'm a PhD student at the Modern College of Business and Science. Today, I'll be going through my research, which is the impact of emotional intelligence on employees' job performance, applying that as a case study of Oman. Before starting, I'm just giving a brief of myself. I'm Saeed Mandhari, who is currently doing a PhD in Modern College. I have about 24 years of experience in the technology sector, working, starting from the government work. Then I worked for Oman Broadband as a CEO. And then currently I'm holding the position of a group CEO in ITHCA Group, which is an investment group within Oman Investment Authority. I'm a master degree holder in a computer system engineering and a degree from Kent University in the UK. And I have an executive management program from Berkeley in 2018. I'm glad to present today my research. I'm looking forward to contribute and add to the field of the emotional intelligence and employees' performance through this research. So to start with, the presentation will cover all the points starting from the introduction and the research gap up to the recommendation, going through the research question, conceptual framework of the research methodology, and data analysis, including the findings and the discussion. So basically, the emotional intelligence is one of the main concepts which is having a great impact on the job performance when it comes to the direct influence. And that's what the literature review have identified a few characteristics with emotional intelligence would affect the job performance, starting from empathy, social ability, self-regulation, and motivation. And in this research, that the focus is on the transformational leadership theory to explore the outstanding leaders' stimulus towards having the goals of the organization achieved through applying the good practices of the emotional intelligence through the 4 factors which we have mentioned in here. The case study examined how emotional intelligence influence the overall organizational goals. And this is to be imposed or tested on the landscape of Oman through the case study, which we will be testing this theory upon. The research question is, to what extent emotional intelligence influence job performance among employees at Oman Broadband Company in Oman? And I'm taking the Oman Broadband Company as a setting for our study, just to focus this test on a certain company within the telecom sector in Oman, and then maybe extend this to a further in the future for a further studies. The conceptual framework of this study consists of 4 independent variables: empathy, social skills, self-regulation, and motivation, which were driven basically from the transformational leadership theory and the literature review, and how these 4 independent variables would affect or impact the dependent variable is the subject of the study. The research methodology used in this research is a quantitative analysis, which employ together the data to assess the independent variable or the impact of the independent variables and how they influence the performance of the employees within the Oman Broadband Company. For that, we have structured the question of the survey based on 12 items of 5-point Likert scales, distributed to all the related employees within the company, whether they are from the support services, operations, strategy, and management. And we have tried as much as possible to distribute these questions to have a sort of non-biased or sort of a mix of feedback from different perspectives of the stakeholders within the organization. The survey divided into 3 targeted actions. The first section is aiming to assess the current situation. The second section is to assess the impact of these independent variables and the outcome of the employee's performance from the perspective of the respondents. And the third section is to test the optimization, or to to conclude the optimization and enhancements which can be suggested within the employees and the respondents. The quantitative data were analyzed through from the perception of the respondent who been administered in this survey. The survey was sent to 66 participants. 48 responses were received as 72.7% of respondents, or a percentage of respondents who have successfully responded to this survey. The survey was analyzed through a frequency analysis, means and standard deviation, tested all the three parts which I have explained previously. I will not go through the research finding itself, but in general, these are the outcomes of the three sections, starting from section 1, which tested the independent variables as the general means and the standard deviation. And under each of these sections, there is a 4-question testing each individual independent variables within that section. And we have tested as well and analyzed it through the frequency percentage, including the means and standard deviation. This is the current status outcomes. Table 2 goes into the impact of independent variables as section 2 and how these questions has been analyzed, and the same for section 3. Discussion. The study determined that the empathy level was actually scoring quite above the average when it comes to how it's impactful currently as a current status on the job performance. However, it's been identified that there is a big room of improvement and development in this part of the study. On the other side, it's been scoring high when it comes to the impact, and all the respondents were highlighting that the empathy would play a very crucial role in increasing the job performance. On the other side, social skills scored higher than the empathy when it comes to the current status, and the same for the impact which is expected to create on the job performance. Self-regulation as well had a higher percentage than the empathy when it comes to the current status and practices within the Oman Broadband, and the same for the impact. And the motivation was the highest when it comes to the impact among the 4 with the social skills. This means that the job performance would be highly impacted by the social skills and motivation in the first place, and empathy and self-regulation in the second place. But these all have reflected that the current situation or the current satisfaction of the employees when it comes to all of these 4 factors is still below their expectation of the impact they can create. The results of the survey align closely with the theories and the previous studies discussed in the literature review, because the literature review and theories identify that there is an implication on emotional intelligence on the job performance, and this has been proved through the study by the analysis that it applies as well in the Omani setting, in the Oman Broadband case in here. So the outcome of the study aligns very well with the literature review and the transformational leadership theory. The recommendation in my study to improve the current status and to reach to the optimal outcome of the 4 variables is firstly to adopt the emotional intelligence development programs to increase the level of the emotional intelligence skills within the leadership, to adopt training initiatives to improve as well the empathy, and to conduct some workshops, regular workshops to enhance the communication and interpersonal skills, and to adapt the leadership on adapting themselves to changes within the organization. It's also recommended that programs focusing on managing stress and regulating emotions within the leadership to adapt themselves with changes within the evolving industry. And finally, defining motivating objectives that align with employees' individuals and to enhance their inner drive and motivate them to work to achieve the organization outcomes. I've used the list of these references, which is listed in here, and I would acknowledge the full supervision and support of Professor Muhammad Al-Jidawi in this research, which was funded with high appreciation by Modern College of Business and Science in Oman. Thank you very much for your listening, and I'm open for any questions.